I've been thinking a lot about victim mentality these days. Many people see themselves as victims. Many young people especially feel that they've inherited some victim status or have been victimized by society or something else out there in the ether. And to make matters worse, this mindset is often pushed and encouraged by unscrupulous politicians who want more power and more control in your life. If they can perpetuate your sense of victimhood, they can promote themselves as the party that will save you from oppression. If you only give us power, they promise, we'll make sure that all of your oppressors are restrained. Some people are actually victims and have been victimized in various ways by different people and circumstances. And I would never want to minimize the hardships that someone has gone through. At the same time, in many cases, the more far-reaching and lasting effect is the victim mentality. It's the victim mentality that confines the person even more than the victimization. How does one overcome the victim mentality? Keeping your eyes facing forward. When we focus on our past and where our victimization came from, we can see ourselves as being acted upon by forces beyond our control. And this breeds resentment and swells our desire for revenge. But when we focus our attention on the future, not forgetting or negating what took place, but not allowing ourselves to be defined by it, we become the agent who can choose our own path, which bolsters courage and strength and encourages us to create our own destiny. One of the most remarkable people that we could ever have the opportunity to meet is a Holocaust survivor. One telling thing that I've learned time and again from Holocaust survivors is the sense of courage and strength. Could there be anyone alive today that has actually been victimized more than a human being who survived in the unspeakable horrors of Hitler's death camps? And yet, at the same time and again, I meet survivors who do not view themselves as victims, never harp on their past. They've discovered the recipe for resilience. When you hold a permanent view of yourself as a victim, you become your own oppressor. The harnessing of abilities, the restraint of inner freedom comes from victim mentality. It's time to break free of this mentality. In the biblical narrative, we're familiar with the story of the Israelite enslavement to Pharaoh in Egypt and how God freed his people from Egyptian bondage. The Bible commands the Jewish nation to commemorate this event every Passover, to retell the story of moving from slavery to freedom. Hebrew scriptural tradition, in fact, teaches that we're supposed to recall being liberated from Egypt every single day. Why the great emphasis on this event? Because the Egypt that we left was not only a specific geographical Egypt 3,000 years ago, but a timeless lesson and experience. The Hebrew word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, means limitations. We experience an inner Egypt when we define ourselves and confine ourselves with limitations. God is the one who took us out of the land of Egypt, and He's also the one who takes us out of all of the limitations that we put upon ourselves. It wasn't enough to take us out of Egypt. The harder task was to get Egypt out of us. In the eyes of God, we're not victims, we're victors. The secret to experiencing inner freedom is by breaking free from our inner Egypt, our self-imposed limitations through God's empowerment. I'd like to share with you a story that happened when I was a camper in summer camp. One day we visited the circus and were able to get a backstage tour afterwards with the ringmaster. It was so cool. We watched all of the animals with fascination, but one set of animals was very striking: the elephants. These colossal creatures were standing in their place, being held still by a small cord around their ankles. One astute young man asked the ringmaster, how was it possible for the small cord to harness and constrain these 5-ton elephants? Surely the elephants could easily break through these thin cords and run away. The ringmaster's explanation was remarkable. When these elephants are baby elephants and can't break these cords are fastened to the elephant's leg during their training. As the elephant grows, it never realizes that it can now break through the cord. Instead, it remains shackled only by its previous notion that it can't break free from the cord that holds it back. How many of us suffer from this same condition? We've been told outright or subtly by our family members, our peers, society, all the way from childhood that we can't do something. We're confined, we're limited, we're victims. We've been shackled to the limiting views of our inner Egypt. But God views us differently. You're not a victim who is limited by external factors, but a victor who God empowers to break free and achieve your destiny. One of the key goals here at the American Alliance of Jews and Christians is to help people of goodwill escape the relentless indoctrination of the popular culture and mainstream media in order to carve out their own lives of victory instead of victimhood. We must see ourselves as God sees us and liberate ourselves from our limiting beliefs. Together, we will be able to tell our past, I survived you. Our present, I'm ready for you. And our future, I'm coming for you. I'm Rabbi Pinchas Taylor. Until next time.